8:57 exactly. News and views right here on Salam Media. And apologies to our next guest. And that's you, Naeem Patel, Councillor of Ward 61 in Tswane. Thank you for your patience and thank you for standing by. You're here to talk to us about the Erasmia power outage. What exactly is happening there? Has the power been restored? And have you, as a councillor, together with community members, been able to establish the reason for the power outage? Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program. Naeem Patel.
Walaikum salam. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you indeed for your time. Did you hear my opening questions?
Yes, I heard that. So on Sunday evening or early Monday morning, around about 1:10 a.m., power in certain parts of my ward, which is the Erasmia section of my ward, went tripped, or we had a power failure, as they say. And this was reported to the council early on Monday morning, around about 5 o'clock. And then council sent out a team to investigate what the issue was with the power failure. What we found is that cables were cut. Around 11 meters of cable was cut, 60 meters replaced. So quite a bit of cable was cut. Those who cut the cable and tried to steal it didn't really get away with the cable. But you know, when you cut cable, you can't use the same cable to rejoin. New cable will need to be brought in. So what the team done from council is first to try and isolate parts of Erasmia to restore that power, and then carry on and then continue fixing the cabling. A part of Erasmia, or I'd say about 40% of Erasmia, was restored early in the morning when in bypassed this power cable. But the rest of the area of Erasmia could not be bypassed because this was a feeder cable feeding those homes in that area. Obviously, we know council process. Sometimes it's a long process. And I think before I was in council myself, I would have had some of the same views that residents have. Only when you work in council, you understand the process, or the need for the process, and the different teams that need to come out to actually sort out one issue. It's not just one team that comes in. So this cable was stolen between Lodium and Erasmia. There's a link road that goes between Lodium and Erasmia. It was stolen there. Part of it falls inside the Tswane Muslim school. So we had to first get permission from the school to enter the school officially to do digging. A TLB was brought out yesterday afternoon to dig and see exactly how much cable was stolen. The area that the cable was stolen is not a very easy terrain to work in. It's between the school and a felt area. So they dug yesterday afternoon and that did the measurements, got permission, got the way lift to be able to replace the cable. Cable was replaced yesterday just before Isha. Around Isha time, it was already replaced. Then the next part is to now wait for the team that actually does the switching on the electricity. So a team comes out, they do a test, and then they switch on the electricity. I think many people think it's just one simple thing. You come here and you push on one switch because they see it being done on poles and stuff. But in a substation, it's not such an easy thing. Obviously, they have to make sure the amount of current that runs into homes is not more than the 220. There's a lot of things they need to make sure, because you put up current and excess current goes into people's homes. That people that are showering will now shock. People's appliances will blow. So it's a very it's a process. Yesterday around about 1 o'clock in the morning, or this morning, I say, power was restored just before 1. So basically, residents who were without power in certain parts of Erasmia for around about 24 hours.
Undoubtedly, quite a process, and you are so right when you say the moment you have a power outage. I mean, the first thing that pops into my head is, oh, it's Eskom at it again, not realizing that in a lot of instances there's issues around cable theft. This is a huge problem. You've also indicated that once the cables have been cut, disconnected, even if the perpetrators do not get away with the cable. It's not, you can't reuse it. What does the council then do with that cable? And how come it is so valuable as far as the black market is concerned? What's going on here?
Okay, I'm not going to be able to answer what council does with it, because I've asked the same question yesterday to council to say, please, you loaded on this piece of cable that was cut. Can you let me know what exactly gets done? How is it destroyed, or is it used in areas where smaller pieces of cable is needed? So I haven't got a reply on that. In terms of the cabling, obviously copper is in high demand. You know, something that really amazes me is that the price of copper, if you look at it, for that piece of cable, I don't think they would have got maybe 2,000 rand. That's what it is. But the amount of damage you caused for stealing or trying to steal a cable that you're going to benefit 2,000 rand, it doesn't make sense to me. One, and two is the amount of people that must have been needed to actually dig 2 meters deep. You know, when we dig, we bring in TLBs and stuff to dig 2 meters deep because you get rocks. So you must have been a crew of at least 3 people. Secondly, is to carry 16 meters of cable. Cable is not light. Copper cable is quite a thick cable. So you would need at least 3 people. So this is 3 people to share 2,000 rand. For me, it's
not worth the effort. Not worth the effort.
Then flip it, then remove the copper and then sell it. So the other thing we
Sadly,
found is, and this is something, can I make one last comment?
Yeah, I just want to add something to that. Sadly, Naeem, it might be people who are so hungry and have been jobless for so long that for them, any effort, that they put in to get a couple of rands to put food on the table, in their minds is worth it. So I guess when you look at it from that perspective, it's really a very, very sad situation. But be that as it may, you do want to make another comment.
Yeah, I think I was going to reply to this question, this comment of yours before you made it, but I was of the same opinion. You know, in our community, we have a big issue with Nyaupe, and we always, over the years, blame the Nyaupe boys, you know.
Right.
And recently, I found that this is not true. Many of the people that actually do the stealing of cables, fencing, and so on, are actually professionals or people that have some experience. You know, to cut a cable is not a simple thing. You'll shock, you'll die. So this is not Nyaupe boys or people that are hungry. I found about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a resident sending a picture of electric box, the electric substation. The 2 doors were stolen, and he had a camera, and he sent me the picture of the car that was actually stealing this. It was a brand new car, and then the lady that it was came to steal it, these boxes were then taken and sold to a recycling plant in Lodium. She then sent me the photos of the car that came to deliver these boxes to our house, and these were definitely not Nyaupe people. These were people from the Indian community in our ward that had stolen it and came to sell it. Nothing to do with Nyaupe. And when speaking to security people in our community, these guys who do private security, they were telling me, listen, these guys have done it numerous times. Same thing has happened with 2 drain covers that were stolen. A lady phones me 1 o'clock in the morning and said, Councillor, please come to my house now. He does recycling. There's a guy with a brand new GTI here selling me these 2 drain covers. So
okay. Naeem, you've
very different, you know.
We have to leave it there, but you have undoubtedly raised something really very serious. Obviously, we have created markets in our community. We have created these markets for these people to go out, steal the cables and whatever else they deem is valuable for these backdoor markets, so to speak. It's time that you, as a councillor and fellow councillors, start working on a plan to stamp out this type of operations in our areas. But let's leave this for another time. I think it's a very important subject for us to go and delve very deep into it. And let us ask, as I spoke to Mary de Haas a little while ago, Professor Mary de Haas, she's with the KZN Violence Monitor. If we stamp out these opportunities or opportunists, if we don't create the necessary markets, we won't have this going on in our areas. But let's leave it for another time. But thank you for that update, and salamu alaikum to you.
Thank you very much.
That was Naeem Patel, councillor for Ward 61 in the Greater Tshwane area, 7 after 9 o'clock. And undoubtedly, we're going to go for an ad break. Thereafter, we're going to be getting the news from Zahid Jadwat, but I am in serious trouble with Zahid, but I do hope he's standing by with much patience.